entrepreneur, this is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Welcome to this special presentation entitled Strategic Alliances: How to Get People of Major Influence to Give You and I a Much Needed Endorsement, even though they don't personally know you yet. This is actually part three in the trilogy and the final installment in this particular series. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back at inspiredtothrive.com. This is Lisa's website, and I just wanted to show you something right off the bat. Yesterday, when I did this particular video, my coach, if you look over here on the top comment lovers, Adrian Smith was in the top 5, and now this gentleman here, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but he has 11 comments, so he's moved up. That's how fast this thing can change, and that's what I wanted to show you. But here's the other reason why I wanted to make part 3 in this trilogy, so you really get an idea. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, think of this particular website as an offline business. Let's say this lady, Lisa, owns a retail store on a crowded street, like, say, in New York City. Now, she's got the opportunity to, A, display her own products in the window to get some of the foot traffic to come in, or B, lease that space to other business owners who want to sell their wares to her customers. Why would she give up, in other words, this retail space right here to let comment lovers be showcased there? It's because when you and I add comments to their blogs, this signals to Google. It's like a vote. When I say Google, I mean all the major search engines, but it signals to the search engines that this particular blog is an authority site. It has I wanted to say value, but it goes beyond that. It has authority in the eyes of Google, in the sense that Google's saying whatever they're writing about in that particular post, a lot of people are validating it. So they're willing to give up retail space that they could sell, ladies and gentlemen, to give to you and I, people they don't even know, complete strangers. Remember, that was the whole premise of the entire series. Why would they do that? Because the more they give us exposure, the more apt we are to comment. But here's what I want you to think about in part 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Google's been known, they call it their algorithm, this fancy, whatever it is that they do, criterion that they use to decide how they constantly rank websites. And it's like totally secret. Probably the NSA doesn't even have this information yet. But the point is, Google consistently changes this up. Now, here's what I want you to think about. Whose site do you think is more apt to recover from the next Google change? Yours or mine, or these men and women who have figured out how to rank real high in the search engines? Exactly. That's why you want to leverage them and be commenting on these blogs who are relevant in your niche. Follow these men and women on Twitter. Start a conversation with them. That, as Harlina Singh says, and Harlina's right there, Google this lady and you'll see what I'm talking about. She's huge. But as she says, comments are the gateway to potential opportunity with the people who comment the most. So what I want you to realize is, ladies and gentlemen, they've got the resources, the access, the knowledge, the experience, the network to recover a gazillion times faster than you and I can from these Google changes. Your site, my site, let's say we're listed number 10, which isn't great, but let's say we're number 10 for a particular term on page 1. Google makes a change and they move us back to page 4. Entrepreneur, you do realize that 99% of the visitors who come to a Google listing, a search page, they're not going to go past page 2. 99% of the people will not go past page 2. So that means every listing beyond page 2, in reality, they may as well not even be there, unless you're smart enough to be doing stuff like this. Let's say you and I are on page 4 for several terms, but we're listed prominently on a lot of websites that have comment love. And that's the other thing. Now, there's 2 versions. I didn't make that clear, ladies and gentlemen. There's a comment love plugin that you can plug in. It's limited. It'll do what you need it to do. When you make a post, a comment on another blog that gets approved, whatever your latest post is, that link will show up. But the premium, the paid version, Comment Love Premium, it does a whole lot more. So Google what is Comment Love Premium and see for yourself. and I'm not an affiliate for them yet, although that's going to change. So my point is, what I wanted to stress for you in this particular video, the third part in the installment, is simply this. Remember that these men and women know what it takes to get these sites ranked. So even if you and I experience a change in Google's algorithm and it bumps us way out of the search ranks for these terms we're going for, we'll still have prominent display if you take the time to do some blog commenting in your niche. Now, I'm telling you, stay in your niche. Follow these men and women, follow them on Twitter, open a conversation with them, and then, now, for instance, this lady has, for one particular blog post, 120 comments. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll read some of those comments, and I'm looking for a link that catches my eye in terms of the title of the post. And if I think it's relative to what I do, I go over to their blog, I read it, I find a post I like, and I post a comment. That's what you need to be doing. And my question, as I said to you yesterday, if you're saying you don't have time, then I need to know, what exactly are you doing with your time? And more importantly, is it paying off? Because if it's not, you need to make some changes, or you need to make a decision. Maybe this isn't for you. So in any event, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can see in this short video how and why these strategic alliances are so incredibly powerful. And as I mentioned, this gentleman here, he replaced my coach because she was in the top 5, and it's very easily somebody could come along and knock me out of the top 5. So you got to stay active in this deal, and you're not going to be able to stay active in all of them, but you got to pick out a few of the major players, and you got to stay on top of it. So with that said, entrepreneur, for those of you who want to discover how you're going to add an additional 25% more gross profit to your bottom line, you want to do so in the next 90 days or less, and you don't want to have to constantly go out and create new customers and clients because that costs like 500% more, then what you need to do is grab your free 9-page special report, read it, apply it, and watch your profits grow. You head over to youcanmarketonline.com/sales and you can get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Who else do you know in business right now who's struggling? If you got value out of this video and this series, entrepreneur, forward it to them. Help them out. And by the same token, if you're wondering, hey, Mark, what can I do specifically to get my business moving? Whatever my product or service is, and it doesn't matter whether you market primarily on or offline. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've had those questions or those concerns, I'm going to invite you to grab your free 22-part Small Business Marketing Mastery Series. This is an additional free 22 emails you will receive, ladies and gentlemen, on top of the free 9-page special report. It's my free gift to you. It's my way of saying thank you and welcome to the inner circle. It's a $97 value, and the best part is, entrepreneur, you're free to unsubscribe anytime you wish. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. We'll see you again next time on the Marketing Minute.